There's this thing Kamala Harris said recently. Tulsi Gabbard responded to her. I got a clip about it. Check this out, guys. Jesus, Mugabe.
Leaders of the United States Congress will do everything that is necessary to support and protect the whistleblower. The president's tweets and his behaviors about this are just further evidence of the fact that he uses his power in a way that is designed to beat people down instead of lift people up. Frankly, when you look at what he's been tweeting today, directed at the whistleblower, directed at so many people, I frankly think that based on this and all we've seen him do before, including attacking members of Congress, that he frankly his Twitter account should be suspended. I think there is plenty of now evidence to suggest that he is irresponsible with his words in a way that could result in harm to other people. And so the privilege of using those words in that way should probably be taken from him.
But doesn't that, play into certainly the hands of, his, I don't know how many Twitter followers he has. I think it's in the range of 60 million who say, well, look, okay, now the rich folks in Silicon Valley are just trying to silence me and taking me off Twitter.
I'm sure that will be said, but we have to also agree that when the President of the United States speaks, her words are very powerful and should be used in a way that is not about belittling, much less harming anyone. And this president has, I think, never fully appreciated that responsibility. And so what we see continuously, including in the last 24 hours, is a use of his words, Donald Trump using his words, in a way that could subject someone to harm. And if he's not going to exercise self-restraint, then perhaps there should be other mechanisms in place to make sure that his words do not, in fact, harm anyone. And that's my point.
Donald Trump, the whistleblower who said that Donald Trump had the conversations with the Ukraine president, was pressuring that president to give information or to seek an investigation, launch an investigation into Joe Biden and his son. Donald Trump's been making tweets and crazy tweets. Trump's been doing what Trump usually does, which is be crazy, say stuff that he shouldn't say. Whatever, okay. So Kamala Harris, she said they should take Twitter away from him. And see, this is the type of thing that happens when you really don't have a core. You know what I mean? Like a core. Like something that you really believe in, right? Like this is what drives you. This is your worldview. And it's not malleable based on what you think the party wants you to say, or what you think these people think, or what you think the audience thinks. But having a core is important. And Kamala Harris does not have a core. What she has is poll tested, risk assessments, how are people going to react, what do the establishment want me to say, how's it going to play with these people, and that is how you get yourself in a situation where you're saying, screw First Amendment, screw free speech, and don't even realize where you are. And when she started laughing with that means she knew she was done. I've been covering Kamala Harris long enough to know when she starts doing, when she does that.
But doesn't that, play into certainly the hands of, his, I don't know how many Twitter followers he has. I think it's in the range of 60 million who say, well, look, okay, now the rich folks in Silicon Valley are just trying to silence me and taking me off Twitter.
I'm sure that will be said, but we have to also agree that when the President of the United States...
when she does that, that's because she's like, oh, shit. Oh, no. Yeah. Well, of course, this went out, and people had reactions to it. She's not the only one they asked about it. When they asked Tulsi Gabbard about it, because they want to ask Tulsi Gabbard because, Tulsi Gabbard and Kamala Harris have a history, this is what Tulsi Gabbard had to say.
No. I think freedom of speech is something that is an important foundational right in our democracy. I think that the things that are coming from Donald Trump are things that are inciting a lot of divisiveness in our country. though, and this is one of the many reasons why I believe it's important that voters vote to defeat Donald Trump. We did, on a serious note, though, we can't just cancel or shut down or silence those who we disagree with or who hold different views or who say things even that we strongly disagree with or abhor. These freedoms and principles enshrined in our Constitution are things that we have to take very seriously. I and so many others who wear the uniform of this country are willing to give our lives to protect and defend this freedom of speech, even for those who are saying things that we disagree with.
Yeah, that was really easy for her to bat that one down and say, look, they asked her a question and said, what do you think about Kamala Harris' response about taking away President Trump's Twitter account? And she said, no, I don't agree with it. And she went on to say some other stuff. Now, I agree that you shouldn't take away Trump's Twitter, but I don't agree with the way that she expressed it. You know, Trump's the president. He got a lot of people that follow him. He has people, because he's the president, who'll do anything for him. He has people that'll get riled up off of him and commit violent acts. Donald Trump is a bully. You could say that. You could say, hey, he's a bully. I like Bernie better on this. Bernie would be like, he's a bully. He's a white supremacist. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's a homophobe. He's an Islamophobe. I like that better because it's closer to true. Well, let me say this. I like Bernie's and I like Tulsi's, but I like something in the middle between the two because I think you have to acknowledge that Trump stuff he's saying, I don't even think Trump believes half of it. But he's saying it because it's going to have a certain effect. What I don't like about Tulsi's is it feels like she's not giving that any weight at all. She's just like, hey, let me be over here. These people, they kind of like me, and they kind of like Trump, and they kind of like me. And I think it's politics, and I can't stand that type of politics being played. And I understand all politicians play politics. But I hope I make myself clear. In essence, I agree with Tulsi Gabbard that you can't just take away his Twitter. But let's talk a little bit about why this mofo's Twitter should be like why people feel that way. I would say something like, hey, you know, though I can't agree with Kamala Harris, I do agree in spirit that Donald Trump is irresponsible and the things that he says are heavily volatile and the division that he creates is totally unnecessary. And it's possible he could put people in harm's way with his rhetoric. That is not good and it's unacceptable, especially for someone who's the president. But since we have laws in place that if you incite violence, that if you cause the assault or the murder or the hurt of another individual through your words, that you can be prosecuted, I think we'll just have to use those laws that we have in place to pursue that if that becomes a situation. And if that happens, I would totally support prosecuting even the President of the United States for using his bully pulpit in such a way where people are damaged. But short of that, I can't say we changed our First Amendment because we don't like someone's words. Let them hang themselves with their words. Let's beat them at the ballot box. Now, that's something I would say, but I wouldn't give Donald Trump cover, and I'm not trying to attract Trump supporters, so I'm not going to tap dance, any type of tap dancing to being nice or any of that, because Trump don't deserve it. Now, just for a little clarity for what some of the other folks said, some other candidates said when they were posed the same question. Senator Elizabeth Warren said this. She said,
chance to talk about gun violence and how we make changes in this country. So who's got a question?
Senator Warren, really easy one. Should Donald Trump be banned from Twitter?
No.
All right. Senator.
I think that's all she said. If he should be banned from the platform, she said no. South Bend Mayor Pete said that he is less worried about the president's access to Twitter than his access to the nuclear codes. Can't allow Donald Trump to force us to change some of the things that are fundamental about the country, at least they should be, right, which is free speech, right? We can't say, okay, because Trump came in, because that's how we got with the Patriot Act, and that's how we got with, like, habeas corpus, right? Because we allowed the situation, the grim situation, the dire situation. Well, we didn't allow nothing because we didn't get to vote, did we? Bad analogy. But you get what I'm saying, right? People are like all concerned with terrorism that they were willing to forego certain rights. And that was because of the timing, right? Same thing with Donald Trump. We can't let Donald Trump, because he's a sort of a terrorist in a way, Johnson. We can't allow him to come in and change everything about the country. And we can't have a knee-jerk reaction where we are just banning people because of him. Now, this is why I let you know that this show is brought to you by you. Ain't no political party gonna sit up here and fund me when I can talk bad about Trump and about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris all in the same breath. It's like, what office is he running for? What type of audience is he trying to attract? What's wrong with this guy? He's a bad bet for business. He goes after everybody. You're damn right, Johnson. I'm gonna keep doing it too. Anyway, become a member of my Tim Black Wolfpack. Find it below. Find it over here. Go to TimBlackTV.com or go to Patreon, Tim's Take Live. And you can always email me at tim@TimBlackTV.com. But if you're going to email me to complain about my opinion, doesn't jive with your opinion, send that email. That email goes to your mama at yourmamashouse.com. That's where that one goes.